This is Keith David, and you're listening to Traumatic Cinematic.
Traumatic Cinematic, bitches.
Check us out, traumaticcinematic.com. Greetings and salutations, internet goers. We are back once again with Act 3, our final coverage of Days of the Dead Indianapolis 2013. I am your host, Mugumbo. And along this journey, we've explored a lot. I've tried to give you a good flavor of all the different interviews we've done. I put the photos up on Facebook and into the photo galleries. I've even uploaded 2 videos to YouTube, to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to check that out. And I couldn't help it though. I saved the very best for last. In this episode, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time narrating because the 2 gentlemen that are going to be in the next 2 interviews don't really need a whole lot of introduction. First up is the amazing, the beautiful, is he's got a voice gifted from God himself. It's Mr. Keith David. And many of you will have known him from all sorts of things, Gargoyles or Spawn or They Live or, The Thing and so on and so forth. And he does have that voice that makes clothes fall to the ground. That's pretty awesome. And then we also have Danny Trejo coming up. And, it's pretty freaking awesome, too. Danny Trejo, I was really surprised to get that interview. But with Keith David, I tell you what, I felt like we hung out and partied with him all weekend long. He was either sitting at the bar in the evenings, out smoking. He was among the fans. Like, he did not hide himself. He did not pretend to not, he didn't try to not be around us. It was pretty awesome. It was really kind of endearing. I do like that feeling, brushing elbows with the people that buy your swag, right? So check out this interview with Keith David first, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to Danny Trejo, and then we're going to do a debriefing. We have a segment with me, Mike, Corey Miller, and Nick Tyson. Dave, I don't know. I guess I don't know if Dave's still part of Traumatic Cinematic or not. He came, drank all the beer, and he's never really heard or seen much from him since. So who knows? All right, folks, check it out. We're back, folks, at the very last moments of Days of the Dead 2013 in Indianapolis, and we are joined with the one and only.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, and that is an undeniable voice that I think every one of us, I even forgot some of the movies you had been in, like Spawn, and oh my goodness, you just can't forget that voice. What did you think of the weekend, sir?
I had an absolutely wonderful time.
We've seen you around.
Yeah, it's been great. It's wonderful seeing the fans. I got a new appreciation this weekend about people who collect and guys who just want to see the people that they have seen in the movies, and they're very appreciative, and I appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate you not just coming here, giving us the opportunity to meet you or get our merchandise signed by you, but we also. Sir, you didn't hide yourself either. You've been amongst the fans this whole weekend, not just when those doors were open, but in the after hours. I mean,
we've seen you all over the place.
Apparently, you are a human being, just like but it's you get immortalized on camera.
Well, contrary to popular opinion, I am immortal. Have red blood and breathe the same air as you do. So it was fun to get out and see people. Nobody was obnoxious. Nobody. It was great. It was like I got a chance to hang out.
And one thing, as an audio show that we are, and you do a lot of voiceover work. At what point you didn't start off doing voiceover work?
I didn't start out doing that way. I always wanted to, and I guess about 3 years into it, a persistent agent, and I started doing, radio commercials, and I loved it. I always wanted to do animation and narration, and then I got a chance to do that. So, I'm living my dream right now. So I'm blessed and highly favored.
Well, and you do, sir. You have a voice made for radio or a voice made for audio. It carries.
He was terrified to introduce his wife to you yesterday.
Yeah, because you got a voice that takes clothes off. and
well, I appreciate that.
And we do too. We appreciate you sitting down here with us. Are you working on anything new?
I will be doing a new series called Enlisted on Fox Channel, and we'll start sometime in the fall, late fall, I think.
This is your. What kind of show is it?
It's a military-based show, sort of like MASH meets Scrubs,
That could be fun.
And I play the sergeant major.
Oh, excellent.
So look out for us.
Excellent. Well,
Definitely will. Yeah.
Well, I know you're a busy man, and you probably got people to see and things to do. So we'll let you go. Do you have a fan page or a Facebook page or anything that people? I guess it's Keith David. If you
you can have. There's a Facebook, a Twitter page, and all that good stuff. And there's my website.
Excellent, sir.
Well, before you go, is there any chance you would say do a bumper? Just this Keith David, and you're listening to Traumatic Cinematic.
This is Keith David, and you're listening to Traumatic Cinematic.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect. All right.
Have a nice week.
Is this?
We are Traumatic Cinematic.
Oh, that's
Traumatic Cinematic.
It's a movie podcast.
Awesome.
We mostly just talk about movies that we like. And
ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again with the one and only Danny Trejo.
Big D.
how's it going, sir?
It's going awesome, man.
How was the convention for you?
You know what? Hey, Indiana's the shit. It was awesome. Everybody was great. I mean, it was it's like being home. And now my fans are so great, and they're just like,
well, we love you.
They're cool.
You're inspiration. You show that everybody or anybody can follow a dream and become huge and famous. Anybody or the American dream, I guess.
Indeed. We all went to your panel yesterday. It was great.
Oh yes,
you're fantastic.
Yes,
thank you.
And you sir are one funny guy.
Let's do comedy.
Well, no, it just came on naturally.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and
good panel you're on.
Fans always set me up really good.
So the next big thing's Machete Kills, right?
Machete Kills. And the next one after that is Machete Kills in Outer Space.
Yes.
I would go see that. I would absolutely go see that.
It is like, this Machete Kills makes the first Machete look like a kid's movie. I mean, it's just, we were crazy. We got everybody in this thing. We got, like Lady Gaga. We got like Charlie Sheen. We got Mel Gibson. We got Amber Heard. We got Amber Heard. We got Amber Heard. Damn.
Indeed, yeah.
And she's beautiful. And we got Michelle Rodriguez, and we got like Jessica Alba. Everybody. I mean, it's just like Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yes.
He's awesome.
Oh, there. You just got my...
He's beautiful, too.
Yeah, you just guaranteed my mother. We'll be there opening weekend, right there.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So what's next? What next?
We got
Are they flying out with the Muppets?
Oh yeah, I got the Muppets, man. I got that. Me and Ray Liotta and Tina Fey. So and she plays like the mean prison guard, and she's like, I just kept hit me with that whip, honey.
Well, you see, she almost
she was awesome, man. She was
dominatrix behind closed doors.
But it was just a lot of fun. The whole thing, man, was just great, man. And Ray Liotta's actually pretty good as a song and dance guy.
Oh, I bet. That'll be. Is that?
And then we've got from Dead in Tombstone coming out. That's in October too, I think. And then I've got Bullet, another film coming out, and then
TV series you had mentioned in the panel, possibly. Rodriguez said.
Yeah, well, we've got a network called El Rey, and our first TV series is going to be From Dusk to Dawn. So that's going to be a television series, which is awesome, and then the next one is going to be Machete, we'll do that.
Which would be interesting for television.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be cable, so, the network will be getting away with a little more.
Maybe not testing this through windows. Whatever's necessary.
So
we'll be on...
With your starring roles in not just one, but 2 TV shows, will you be finding any time to sleep anytime soon?
Man, you sleep when you're dead.
Exactly.
Well, we know you're in a hurry. Before you go, would you do this is Danny Trejo, you're listening to Traumatic Cinematic?
This is Danny Trejo, and right now you're listening to Traumatic Cinematic. And if you don't keep listening, I'll kill you.
Machete don't text.
Machete don't text.
Thanks, bro.
He does the podcast. Appreciate it very much.
Thanks, bro. God bless you.
Yes, and you too. That's great.
That's awesome. All right, folks, this is the last of our interviews for our Days of the Dead coverage. And next up we have is 2 independent filmmakers, Natalie Jean and Doug Sackman from Crossbearer and The Cemetery. We did not get a chance to see their films, but Mike picked up Crossbearer while we were there, so hopefully I'll get to sit down with him and watch that here eventually. But we did hang out on the party bus with Doug, and the party bus was exactly that. They had karaoke, flashing lights, coolers full of refreshments, and lots of craziness and hijinks happening. So definitely take a listen to this interview and enjoy. We have with us...
I'm Natalie Jean.
Natalie?
And Doug Sackman. And with Crossbearer and The Cemetery.
Which are 2. Yeah, they both screened here this weekend.
Correct, and actually we have Crossbearer sitting on the table here that we picked up to check out ourselves.
I think I covered a little bit, but...
How dare you?
Were you guys part of the ones dragging the crosses across the floor in a very Life of Brian fashion?
No. Not that I know of.
I think there was a haunted house was set up here somewhere.
I just figured this had to be part of the show,
It worked out
we came on since we came on a giant black school bus, we could have had let cross inside.
Yeah. For those at home that don't know about the bus was... That's where it was last night.
We bring the after party.
The after, yeah. So, this weekend, you screened your movie. How'd everything go?
Good. Very good reception. We got to
screen
Crossbearer and The Cemetery. Both. Natalie's the star of both movies.
Excellent.
And she does a lot of murdering and gets a lot of blood on her in both movies.
Actually, you know what? In Crossbearer, I get very little blood. Everyone else gets covered in blood. And then...
but we make up for it in The Cemetery.
Yeah, you made up for it in The Cemetery.
Is that like the bit where they talk about in Ghostbusters, Bill Murray was upset he was the only one that got slime, so he made the rest of them jump in the slime in the sequel?
Is that true? That it was Bill Murray's called?
That's the rumor.
It's possible. At the end of The Cemetery, we covered everyone in blood. Just we were going to do a Gatorade type thing and dump it.
That happened. Gatorade style with the blood.
Adam's head, and everyone got covered in it. So we just ended the shoot with everyone covered in blood.
But actually, The Cemetery we shot first, and I play the killer in that one. So I destroy basically a group of people. I rip them apart, and Doug did all of the effects. They're all practical. What do you say? There's 80 special.
There's about 80 individual effects. There's one scene that has 12 to 13 effects going on at the same time, a progression of effects where she's basically, I don't give away too much, but she's ripping guys' head off after she's broken a bong over his head, shoved it through his mouth, ripped his head, gouged his eyes out, ripped his head off, pulls out his intestines, throws his head at her boyfriend, and then...
and how did I open his stomach?
And then, but then you come back. So first,
that's true.
You come back and she breaks the bones out of his leg and pulls his bones out of his leg and then stabs him in the stomach and rips open.
There's only so dead that a person can be.
Well, she was. It ends with her reaching up and pulling out his heart and eating.
Adam may have a few issues with women.
And that really was the spoiler-free version, folks, because he said there was 18 effects that went on. He just gave us 4.
Well, that was just a little melange, if you will.
Yeah, in the other movie, Crossbearer, I'm being chased. I'm the one being victimized, so I didn't get the blood because I'm being chased the whole time. But a lot of other people get money.
Yeah, a lot of other hammer beatings.
So,
basically.
as an independent filmmaker, what do you, for those that might be listening that are interested in trying to cut their teeth and make that first film, or step it up from a short or YouTube video to actually creating something? I mean, what sort of advice would you give of experience of your trial and error?
I mean, the best advice is just, do what you want to do and, like, don't have any bounds to, like, don't let what other people might think about what you're doing affect what you're doing. Just do it.
Yeah, I would say that we co-produced both of these movies with Adam, the director, and I would say trying to have like preconceived notions is a bad idea, or having an idea of you can't make this until we have this amount of money. You do want to be responsible and smart about it, but if you end up making a lot of excuses, you'll never do it. So you just have to do it.
But speaking of money, have you gone down the fundraiser, Indiegogo, Kickstarter?
It's a tough road. It's back and forth. We have a lot of projects, and we'd love to just ask people for money for all of our projects, but everyone is asking for money.
Right.
It's kind of, you got to have something that's unique and stands out, and like a reason for someone to give you money rather than just ask for it. Because there's so many filmmakers that are, I'm making a movie, give me money. Yeah, there's thousands of filmmakers that are doing the same thing.
And they're on the high levels too. I mean, there's basically studios are asking for money from people, which is insane to me. But
it's a lot of.
I just saw on Facebook the other day, one of my good friends gave $1,000 to Zach Braff's movie, and I got a little angry for just a minute.
It's crazy. That whole thing with Zach Braff, like, the money that he's raised on Kickstarter is going to Warner Brothers to fund their movie. Basically,
I sold my grandfather's watch that was handed down to me to help source fund Veronica Mars coming back. Because I'm absolutely fucking kidding. It was drug money, so I didn't feel so bad. And there was never a watch.
Yeah, I forgot about the Veronica Mars thing. That's all.
Yeah, I was like, really? Oh, fuck, she's old now. Nobody wants to see her. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I can't.
It was a good show.
Sure, and hey,
I didn't give it any money, but it was a good show.
right, and I'm not trying to put down any of those people. It's cool they're doing stuff too, but to do Indiegogo or any of that stuff, I don't really want to. I don't want to go down that road usually.
It's a job within itself.
you have to upkeep. That's the thing. You can't just put it up and like not do anything
you have
at
to
all.
beg. You have to put it up and beg everyone that knows.
Yeah, it's tough. You have to.
It's almost like putting together a separate production to get money for a different production.
On a side note, Adam Albrand is separately for doing The Hunters. He's doing an Indiegogo kind of thing, and we're working on doing that route with it. Like he's insisting on it because he's basically funding it out of his own pocket, and
But see, that would be what Indiegogo is for.
Yeah.
It's also helpful when you have finished product. You can show everybody, say, "Look, see, I actually do these things, and they actually turn out, and they're good." It's always helpful than that first time guy who says, "Yeah, I want to make a movie. Give me money."
Yeah.
Artist
without portfolio.
But once you're established, I mean, that's when you allow your fans. I mean, you build that following. That hey, for the certain contributions, we will kill you.
Exactly.
We will rip your intestines out.
There has to be a good back and forth with the fans and a good repertoire. And
at what point do fans start dictating what your films are going to be?
Yeah,
we just got to be clear about it. There's got to be a line.
You like what we do. Let us do what we do. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty definite right there. You can say you can have final say in it or you have no say in it.
And it is always a back and forth too. It's like I don't really want to ever have a studio controlling it either. I work on stunts in more commercial movies for my job, and I see what happens with those directors where they're basically puppets after a while. Okay, when they're really given budgets, even the name directors I've worked with, they're just sort of, they've had to change entire parts of their movie for weird reasons that the studio did data that somebody would rather see this person eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich than fighting a girl. Like, they will change stuff around, and they just have to deal with that. So it's really tough when you're getting money in. It's on one end, it's great, you have more money, but then you also are dealing with more hands in the pot, like we had to do with one of these two movies. The one that had more money behind it, we've had way more problems with getting it out.
Absolutely, and that's a lot of people don't even never think of that. But I agree with you. I see I'm backed such percent, then I had a say.
Yeah.
And then I'm going.
It's tough. There's a line that you cross when you're getting involved with the fans, but you have to just be able to work with them and Trauma is a good example. You guys Trauma fans?
Oh yeah,
very much so.
I think we're all Trauma fans.
Actually, I've been working with Trejo for 13 years, on and off. And we just did Occupy Cannes. Basically, was a sequel to All the Love You Can, the documentary of the Cannes Film Festival, and that was crowdfunded, raised $50,000 from Trauma fans, because Trauma definitely has a good repertoire of their fans, and they know exactly what they're getting. So.
And they did some Trauma. The whole YouTube thing was huge.
Oh my
God!
Well, that's the thing. Like they were working with Comcast to do on demand and put it out for free that way, and then Comcast dropped it for some reason, like just took it off, even though they're just giving the movies out for free anyway. Just like it was like a choice thing,
right.
Like kind of a selective process, and it's like, okay, fuck it, we'll just put them all out for free on YouTube.
You can't steal something that is given out for free, and I think that's awesome. Like that just for fans, because what's happening
12 Christmases in the same day.
Well, we do tweet-alongs, like I do. These guys do other things, but I run a tweet-along every Wednesday night on Twitter, and we pick a film on Netflix, and we have at it and trash it, love it, try to tweet at the creators and stuff, blah blah blah. But it's quite a fun thing. But with all Trauma titles now, we use that too. We'll explore through those, and a movie you wouldn't normally see it. And a lot of Trauma movies are great to watch as a group.
Yeah.
Sure, they're definitely
movies.
They're definitely to watch as a group. Yeah,
the more the merrier.
It's a bonding experience.
That's one of the things that the home video market has kind of killed. And I say home video because apparently I'm old. But being able to buy a movie and take it home and watch it has killed the movie experience for a lot of people, because you don't go see it in the theater anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to go out and buy it and take it home. You just turn on your computer and it's there. It's immediate gratification.
Although I do have to say that is one of the things that, as an indie filmmaker, you do have a little bit of power over, because creating a theater experience is one of the things you can provide at this point. Your movie will be stolen immediately as soon as it goes out. It's just part of it now. You have to accept the whole aspect of technology pirating being a thing now. So you have to find other ways to...
coming to Days of the Dead.
Well, it's a creative process. And we're going to find a time where a tangible item is invaluable. I can touch this.
I love how you're on an audio podcast.
I know. Well,
I appreciate the visual.
I'm opening the DVDs of this film of the movie Crossbear, and I can touch this. This is a tangible item, whereas when it's digital, it's an experience and it's gone. Until if I lose the file, I lose the file.
Yeah, and as an IT guy, I'm not a big fan of the cloud in general, and the whole concept of saving stuff out in the ether. Because if it disappears, it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah,
and it can disappear at the flick of anyone's switch anywhere along the chain, and you certainly can't get a digital file signed by the stars.
So the other idea is and you see some of the Hollywood releases, what they'll do. They're offering the ultra file. They're offering free digital download. They're offering both the DVD and Blu-ray all in the same
combo.
And that's when it becomes it's more packaging. It's more like, especially for you guys, as as indie filmmaker, you can actually give the fans a piece of it. You open the case, it can actually be a Polaroid from the continuity of the, or whatever, like something that you have that you're going to end up throwing away or sitting up Rubbermaid. You can actually put special.
It's important to do that kind of stuff for a special feature, because if the movie gets pirated or it's out there, maybe not everything. We put more on the DVD, so people want to buy the DVD. So. And
we're also, I think, lucky that in the horror world, there's a lot of interest in having DVDs, which I totally get, because it's like, if you love something like that, you want to be able to hold it in your hands and look at it and have it in your collection. Some of the guys we work with, like Isaac, who plays the killer in Crossbear, his house is just walls, every single room of DVDs.
It's kind of been my experience that horror fans tend to understand that they need to support the people that are making the thing that they love.
Otherwise, it won't be there.
It scares me more than anything that not that people are going to steal more and more, but that the next generation right now coming up feels so entitled to have everything for free. That's the only thing I want them to try to get through their heads. Is you are stealing. We all take things every now and then, whatever, but you don't deserve to have it for free all the time.
If you like it, at the very least, if you like it, give somebody money.
Right. to do, even if you take something, maybe buy something of theirs some other time. You know, I've stolen music, but I will buy it most of the time, and if I steal it, I'll end up supporting them in some way. You know, I try to make it at least balance out a little.
But with horror fans, at least, we have, because so many of the people we loved started out as fans themselves and got lucky, worked real hard for very, very long. There is an understanding of the community and a sense of community that not a lot of people get because there's not so clear of a view into the creative process.
Yeah.
Like with you guys. Coming out here to give a unique theatrical experience to the people.
I like our nice poolside view we have here.
Well, that too. Yeah.
Out there, Keith David just walked by you guys.
Oh yeah. They live.
I do think.
Sleep.
Anyways.
Sorry.
So when. What memory are you taking home with you from this event? Was it the party we had on the bus last night?
Dude, that was pretty memorable. We had like 30, 40 people on that bus at one point.
It was.
It's not that big a bus.
No.
Jamming in, we had like, there was like
little muggy.
About 15 people in the aisles in the back, and then like sitting, seats. Probably squeeze 15 in the seats, and there's people standing and dancing. And
the bus reached some milestones on the street.
You were missing a disco ball. Everyone
we have had a disco ball in the past. Driving around in the bus, it kind of gets banged around. You got to put it in its protective case. We have a light that says "party" also, but
in case you weren't aware, that's what you're supposed to do.
So, at what point, though, I guess it's not really something you'd want to put out there like a live stream of. That would actually be.
Speaking of that, we have a 4-camera talk show set on the school bus that Natalie is one of the hosts of, called The Street Team. It's on phillyinfocus.com, and it's
nice.
It's shot about 120 episodes.
Wow.
Natalie's one of 5 hosts. Isaac the Crossbearer is also one of the hosts.
And also, on the one movie we made, that's Doug's movie, Punk Rock Holocaust, the singer from Fishbone, Angela Moore, did a talk show for the whole summer. We were on Warped Tour, so.
Yeah, Punk Rock Holocaust 3 also starring now. Actually, in the last 3 years, you've been in 3 features I've produced.
Yeah, that's true.
And is this your first like go at producing then? This time you've been the actress before, and now like you're more involved.
I kind of came in through dancing and modeling into the TV and film world, and I was already producing stuff on stage since I was like 11. So I came as a producer. I've produced little things, but these are the first features I've done. Doug's been producing for a long time and has produced many, many things more than I have. But yeah. So these are my first features that I've done. Hopefully I will be doing more.
Well, I mean,
she's done a hell of a job.
Your first, go at producing.
Well, I've produced little things before this. Like, I've produced a couple music videos. I did a sizzle reel for a show that I wrote and that kind of stuff. But these 2 movies, these are the first 2 entire length features that I've done production stuff on.
Now, outside of a show like this, where can people actually get these?
Well, we're working on it right now. Actually, I'm handling all the distribution. Actually, we went to the Cannes Film Festival with it, and we had distribution in Germany for both movies. It's the first country that we're doing.
I'm somehow not surprised.
They actually also have Germany's been very good to us, to Backseat Conception.
No,
as a whole.
We love the Germans.
We have this movie series called Punk Rock Holocaust, and Germany was one of the territories that picked it up, and they had to change the name to Punk Rock Splatter Massacre.
I wondered about that.
For some reason, I don't know. There's something with the Holocaust. I don't know.
Something about that.
Yeah, they are a little touchy on that stuff.
Something,
They didn't think that the Germans would like that for some reason.
Yeah, imagine why.
But so they're going to be doing Crossbear in the Cemetery, and then we're in talks with several distribution companies. We're just trying to find the right deal.
Which is another.
Get it out the right way, and it's distribution channels. We were just talking about it's become very difficult. Like, everyone wants to do it digitally now. They don't want to press DVDs. Like, they don't want to take a risk on making that many DVDs.
Why do you? I mean, I guess I know why you need a distributor. But I mean, at this point, it's.
It's a lot of work. The thing is, like, we need a company that's going to properly represent and get it out the way. Because myself and Natalie will be doing all the PR and the websites and everything ourselves, just the 2 of us. Like, we don't even have money for a publicist, and I do PR for a living too. So
And he runs an entire company other than just these movies, and it's kind of consumed both of our lives quite a bit. We've been barely doing my stunt work or anything, so that's why basically.
But we're trying to find someone that will work with us, continuing what we've been doing with it, but also do a good job getting out the way we want it, and also give us some fucking money because we spend so much money in these movies.
Right, and that's another thing that I think the way you can succeed still in this world is I'm going to use a douchey term, but branding yourself the way that Tarantino or say like Adam Green does, where you become a personality, you become a character within your world of your movies, and that's a way that you can successfully control what you're doing and also get funding behind you and stuff. So that's, I think, kind of the route we are on or trying to take at least. Because we love being hands-on, and we love being here, and we love talking to people, and obviously we're not shy. This guy's really not shy or quiet. He's definitely a lovable character, everybody.
So what's the next show for you guys?
We're gonna actually looking at the calendar. Like, if we could do every show we want to do, we'd be at conventions every single weekend through November. Like, there's so much stuff going on, but we're trying to focus it because we don't have that much money. We have to pick and choose which ones we can do. There's a few festivals that we really want to go to that the movies have been submitted to. We're waiting for them to let us know if we can. We should know tomorrow. Hopefully,
that's scary. Exciting.
We'll see. But that's going to shape kind of our routing of how we're going to go, because we're going to take the bus and drive around. We're talking about doing a tour like August, September into October with the movies, and also our good friends, the Rigor Mortis Review.
Who performed here?
You saw on Friday the horror burlesque girls.
The Blue Meteor.
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
It was Scarlet Storm and Loretta Vendetta.
We missed that.
And Creature from the Black Lagoon dance number, and a Kill Bill dance number, and some Daisy Duke themed burlesque.
They've got crazy horror-based burlesque. That's really awesome.
You get Dustal Dawn.
They've done. They've been going for the last 10 years, so they have every.
I mean, they did a Human Centipede one recently at a time. It was really crazy.
Okay, on the middle.
They were fighting over it.
Who wouldn't, right? One last question to let you get on with your into the convention. On your films, do you do any audio commentaries?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there are some audio commentaries. I actually have not done audio commentary for Crossbow or Cemetery yet, but Natalie's done for both movies, right? Adam, is Isaac on?
Let's see. Crossbear has me, Adam, and Isaac. Isaac's the killer. And then the Cemetery has me, Adam, and James Brown, who is one of the leads in both movies as well.
Well, just as an audio show ourselves, I do tend to watch lots of audio commentaries. And
I love
they're
commentaries.
Special. They are quite awesome.
I've done some. Actually, I was on the commentary track for Orgasmo, the special edition of Orgasmo.
I have that.
Somehow, that was when I first started working for Trauma. Lloyd is in Orgasmo.
Lloyd's in everything. I just looked at his IMDb. He has
he's in over
17,000 movie credits. Sorry.
But he's doing the commentary track with it was Chota Boy and two of the porn stars and Lloyd doing the commentary track, and I was went to go shoot for Trauma to have it on their DVDs or whatever. And Trevor's just like, you should just be in the commentary track too. So they introduced me, and I'm in there. I forgot about it. My friend did the DVD, a few months ago, and was like, "You're on the commentary track for Orgasmo." I was like, "Yeah, that was."
Oh right.
Oh yeah. Shit.
I'm going to go back and watch that again. I have that, and I know I've listened to it with all the commentary, with all the different commentary tracks. So.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 commentary tracks on the special edition DVD, or whatever. But one memory is it was around Christmas, and it had it was Trey's house, and
so
a fireplace, stone fireplace, and he was drawing The Last Supper with South Park characters in chalk above his fireplace.
Nice.
Actually, the DVD that we were selling here, which is what we sell to help fund our tours, or at least cushion some of the costs. This is a special edition pre-release. We only made a limited amount, and it has the full commentary and also 2 hours of special features on it.
Yeah, it's a rough behind the scenes thing. Yeah, but 2.5 hours of the footage there.
Excellent. Well, I'll let you guys go and finish up the...
Cool, check it out. Crossbearmovie.com.
That was what I was going to ask.
Cemetarymovie.com. Backseatconceptions.com is our production company.
And our Facebook pages are the most updated, usually. Put everything on there. So.
Are you guys on Twitter at all?
We're both on Twitter and on Facebook. Doug Sackman, Doug Sakmann, Natalie Jean, Natty Jean.
The Natty Jean is my Facebook handle. But yeah, the Natty Jean is pretty much all.
But if you go to the Cemetery or Crossbear website, there's links to everything.
Yeah, you can just kind of look down the row of links because we start spouting off all these things that people are like, wait, what?
It's almost like you need to carry a checklist, right?
Yeah.
Also, punkrockholocaust.com. Check that out. That's going to be
unless you're in Germany, right?
Well, no, Germany's they're big Holocaust supporters.
Yeah.
Splatter Massacre supporters.
Yeah, because that's so much better.
And that's about to be finished too. We're almost done with that movie. So.
Excellent.
All right,
We'll keep an eye out.
Thank you for sitting down with us, and folks at home, definitely check out these titles and do not download them.
Yes, that's one thing when you're talking. Like the fans have been very good about. We haven't seen pirated versions of these things.
I'm amazed.
We've been
thankful.
very diligent at looking at these things, and thank you. And don't pirate our movies.
There could be like anti-pirating, where kind of like the Fight Club mentality, where you throw like a single frame, just throughout the whole thing. To the point you're like, I can't watch it.
Give people seizures.
Yeah, and that's only cuts, and I would just pump them out there.
Or if all else fails, just set up a tip jar on the website so that if you did pirate the movie, just give them money.
Yeah. Tip jar.
But don't pirate the movie.
Yeah, you guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
You. Yeah, awesome. That is.
You are back once again. This little thing I like to call the Traumatic Cinematic Show. I am your host, Mugumbo. And with me are one normal co-host and one very noisy person over there. Who the heck is so noisy? Somebody that sounds like they're wrestling a bear over there. But with me is Mike Wycliffe.
Hello.
Then we got Corey Miller from Three Wise Men.
Hello.
And we also have, who you might remember, the Haunter, Mr. Nick Tyson.
Great to be back on, guys.
You were the noisy one, weren't you, Nick? You're over there banging some pots around. Like, I'm going to do dishes real quick during the intro. No?
I actually was trying to progress me real quick. I didn't know if you guys heard me, so yeah.
You're all right. It's okay, because you know what? That's one thing that Days of the Dead has taught me is you can't take anything too seriously. And it is amazing. It's been over 7 days now since the end of Days of the Dead by the time this airs. And as the future goes on, we have had like a full week to kind of let it all soak in. Let it all kind of marinate in there. And
I'm still tired.
I am too. I actually, after the travesty of trying to get things going last night, and then I like crashed early, and I actually slept 10 hours for the first time in probably 2 years.
Which, just for the record, apparently our intrepid host lost a power supply, so we're doing this on Saturday instead of our normal Friday.
Yeah, and but it was a perfect end to a perfect week of misery and awesomeness. It's funny how the two mix together.
Well, it was going to be a crappy week anyway for most of us, I think, because that show was so damn great that there was no way we were coming back real easy.
I don't think so either. Anybody else get the convention blues on the day after it's all over with?
Oh, after already 3 times of doing this for the past 3 years, you'd think you'd overcome it by now, get used to it, but that's not the case. You get attached to these people for the matter of 3 to 4 days, and then when everyone starts leaving, packing up, it really hits you hard. It brings you down to your knees, and it's simply just that. It's like you don't know where these people are going off to next. When's the next time you're going to see them? In my case, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make Chicago or not. It took me a full year until I saw everyone again after becoming a full-fledged monster for the group. And so, like I said, it's really a matter of when you're going to see them next. And like I said, it's pretty much that's the unfortunate circumstances of these conventions is that you get connected to people and then they leave in a matter of days.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll admit getting a little teary-eyed when Canada checked out.
Me too. Yeah, that was kind of a rough weekend for Canada because them guys they actually had to, or they didn't have to, but they kind of tried to live up to their own myth of last year. Therefore, I mean, it's kind of it's kind of a hard thing to do. Like they did awesome. So
certainly, it wasn't for lack of trying if they didn't.
And they might be more memorable in some ways this year, but that's cool.
Well,
that's cool. And for those of you at home that don't know who the Canadians are,
a table full of recording equipment.
The Canadians are going to be. I'm going to put it on this show, and it might be spliced in right after we say that there. But the Canadians, they're freaking awesome, and we do have like 20 minutes recorded with them. And the one guy is really drunk. Really, really drunk. And it's awesome.
My understanding is he drank most of...
750 milliliter handled a bottle of rum, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It makes me
they
gag a little.
60, I believe.
So, Corey, you were only there for Saturday, right?
That's correct.
You got there early.
Yeah.
And you were there late. You had the ability to go home and come back and eat and not have to screw around with some of that kind of crap. Which is
money.
Oh yeah, trust me, I was sick of that food by the time we left. I couldn't eat. I just didn't want to eat any of it.
I'm really hoping. When we talked to Adolfo on the show, we brought up the idea of food trucks, and he really loved that idea. It sounded like. I'm really hoping he explores that for next year.
Yeah, we can also definitely give a reminder, at least for one of the days. It'd be nice, like on Saturday, if the food trucks rolled in, they had a place set up for them. I mean, good grief, people would go crazy over it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, the hotel food there is okay, but...
Yeah, but not for 4 days.
It's pricey.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing else around there. It's crazy how desolate that area is. It's like a wasteland. It's not even like a wasteland. It's not like it feels dirty. It's just, there's just no commercial things anymore. But
not really. It's all industrial.
But that's an awful boring topic. Let's, Corey, I'm curious, what was your take on it? Like, what did you have to cram into the one day that you were there?
Well, I'm not one of those kind of people that gets autographs and whatnot. So, for me, it's a lot of just walking around, seeing what's going on, seeing the vendors, going through the vendor room, and seeing some of the celebrities and whatnot. We were actually trying to get interviews with some of them, and we failed miserably. But and there were a lot of other people that weren't involved with the convention, like with you guys, and there were some other people there too that we hadn't seen in a while. So it was, catching up with them and just talking with them and stuff. So that's predominantly what we did, and it was a fun time. Like I said, since we were only there the one day. For us to go 3 days, it wouldn't have been. 1 day was enough.
Right. Well, because you didn't have. It wasn't like you had a table or something to run, or right. I mean, see, and my thought process going into it was I wanted to immerse myself in it. I've been working on an article. I've got like 2.5 pages written so far, and then God bless whoever the editor might be that is going to proofread this thing for me, because it's going to be tough. Because I bet I've got paragraphs that are just out of order. And anyways, You're right.
Is that you saying you want me to proofread it for you?
Oh, I don't even know. You'd probably have to proofread it before I had somebody else proofread it. I was thinking about Cultural Gutter. Carol Borden, she might be my go-to for creative writing. Anyways, editing. But what I was going to say was yes, if I was just going to be there for 3 days, I quit walking the rooms, right? Because I'm not an autograph person either. Even though I couldn't help it, I did have to get Rowdy Piper and Keith David on a Todd Dudeson's, or the Dudson, the Dude Designs. He did the special edition They Live poster. So I picked up an 11x17 of that. And it cost me.
It's really nice.
Yes, I did see that. That's cool.
And I put it online with his name tag to it. And of course, he responded and stuff, and he actually messaged me. He's like, "Wow, I didn't realize anybody had them." I was like, "Well, it is a really nice print. It's not like a real cheap paper one." But anyways, it was I do really like that. That's if I'm going to get something.
You got the Don Coscarelli one too.
Yes, and then I went ahead and paid to get it autographed because I like that size. 11x17 is perfect. it's not like a poster. Poster's too big to put on the walls. I don't have that big of a house. I live in an old farmhouse, and I got a lot of slanted ceilings, so my wall space is kind of limited, but the 11 by 17s are perfect.
Yeah, a lot of the random stuff I have is 11 by 17. That's the actual size of a comic book page before they shrink it down.
Oh, yeah?
So most original art for comic book pages is 11 by 17.
I didn't know that. But now you say that, Mike. Yeah, you're right. I remember the comic boards because I used to draw on them in art class and stuff. But I've never had really thought about it. All right, so Nick, being part of the Monsters Among You, you had a very big role in this show.
I do.
And people on the outside, they don't really realize that when they're coming in. A lot of people are coming there to see Twisted. And there was a huge line there to see Twisted, which is good. Which is good for the show. That was a lot of money generated for Days of the Dead for people just to come get their autographs, right? And
I think the only person who had a bigger line was Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo and Twisted, I want to say, had the bigger lines, and then coming in second had to be Gary Busey when he was at his stable.
Yeah, and that's always a bummer. I don't get that. How you can have somebody like what's her name? The rock goddess,
Lita Ford.
Yeah, how can you have someone like Lita Ford be there on time every day?
Who is the nicest lady?
Yes,
she was really nice.
But don't take a picture of her without her permission.
I laughed at that.
I don't know. I would have to think that would be towards Linda Blair. There was a picture where she literally had her hand in front of the camera for the one picture, and that was basically standard convention photographers going around. It wasn't like it was a candid photo of some random fan. It was that actual photographer, and she had her hand in front of the...
But see, I didn't even try to do that, man. The pictures I took of Busey and Jake Busey were either with one of you guys or was like at the Monsters Ball or at the costume contest. I figured, that's fair game. And I thought a picture of Gary Busey and Jake Busey at a bar would have to be freaking awesome.
That picture of Busey that you put up on Facebook is fantastic.
Is it not fantastic? It's like he gave me a gift. It was like, here you go, son. The chipmunks are trying to take over the world.
Bill Murray's trying to frame me.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Bill Murray is trying to frame him. Like Gary Busey, we went on a whole tangent on Thursday night about how it's that Bill Murray has so much money and is bored, and he goes around like doing things to like screw with people, right?
Exactly.
And he does it like let's say you're at a restaurant, you go to the bathroom, he'll like come out and like pour like a Dixie cup of water on your crotch and be like, ha ha ha, nobody will believe you, and he takes off. You're like, man, Bill Murray, I didn't pee my pants, Bill Murray did this. Yeah, sure, right, whatever, dude, right?
And he's laughing at you right behind the outside the restaurant as he runs off.
Yeah, through the window. He's like, ha ha, and he's like, Cheung. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And he hates Gary Busey, and he follows him around everywhere, screwing with him. That's why Gary Busey's so messed up. He's like,
screw Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Who framed Gary Busey?
Exactly.
Oh, I would so watch that movie.
and sure as hell wasn't Christopher Lloyd. It was freaking Bill Murray.
See what I'm saying?
I would totally watch that.
It's genius. It's genius. We got into this and it was like we were going to try to make it into a big thing at the show, and then of course there was no time.
Okay, so how is John Cross's Gary Busey impression?
I don't know, but that's
because now I'm thinking.
I don't. Well, actually, we'll have to ask him. I'm sure he could work on it. So, as a Monster Among You,
yes,
did it wear you out? Did you get trapped? Does it freak you out, like getting trapped in a corner? Like, because I know it starts off. I think, and tell me if I'm wrong. It starts off each one of you like you like the attention, right? Like when you first started putting the costume on. But then, I mean, it kind of becomes a job that you still enjoy. But I mean, you literally get trapped, don't you?
You know what? As my first time being an official monster with a group, I have to say no, only because you do like the attention when people come up to you, especially when they recognize your character that you're portraying. Especially in regards with my newer character, Zeke. A lot of people, some people mistaken him for a deranged zombie Mario, which I don't really mind at all, seeing that probably not a whole lot of people are familiar with the character. But a lot of people who approached me said, come by my table, I gotta take a picture of you. Or they look at me and like, are you the guy from Salute Your Shorts? And I simply just nod. And you know, it's amazing when people remember a character like that from an old Nickelodeon TV series, and they want to have your picture taken. And not to mention, I get to stick a toilet plunger in people's faces, which is a bonus. So,
right.
But
it was a new plunger, right?
It was a new plunger. I just made it look, and I threw in some water to make it look like there was actually from.
But
but it wasn't. It wasn't.
But after Saturday night, you wouldn't want to touch it.
No.
So, and speaking of the nightlife, there is two sides to Days of the Dead. And Corey, you, I'm glad you did stick around to see the other side. We have that convention aspect of it, where people are there getting autographs, there's celebrities are behind tables, this, that, or another. And then there was the VIP party, which we were very lucky to have been invited to. Last minute, but it was cool. The whole like little thing about getting invited to it was really cool, and the VIP party was cool. We got to watch the freak show gentleman he's a sword swallower.
The Captain and Annabelle.
And she swallowed a balloon, folks. A what do you know, like the one they make the balloon animals out of? She swallowed the whole thing
and then made it disappear.
Yeah. And then dared us to pull it out the other end. It was quite amazing.
I have to say, they were really impressive.
They were, and we could have had them on the show, Mike, and we missed it. He was busy.
I talked to her briefly on Sunday, and
I talked to him.
They were going to come back by.
And I talked to him, and he's walking by, and it was just one of those things. We actually were busy on Sunday once we got our third co-host. Dave, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you noticed, but Mr. DeMoss isn't with us tonight. It's because me and Mike think he's still hungover from last weekend. Maybe.
He never made it back home.
He's never made it back home. You did take him to the airport, right, Mike? He's not still.
I took him to the airport.
I
watched him walk into the terminal. So
okay, well that's good.
Well, it doesn't mean he got to the actual plane though.
He's sitting at the airport bar, kind of like what's his name over in Russia? He's like sitting at the airport.
The Tom Hanks character.
Oh, the Tom Hanks movie. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the guy that leaked all the stuff to NSA. He's sitting in the Russian airport. Snowden, yeah.
What is it with you and the NSA, man? Just let it go. You're going to end up on a list.
No, we're all on the list. We're all on it. Okay, the time goes by so fast at this. How fast does it go by for you, Nick? I mean, is it literally a blur? I mean, you're constantly doing costume changes.
I had a question about the costume changes. How do you decide when it's time to put on a different costume? Or do you guys have it scheduled out? Like, from 3 to 4, I'm going to be Zeke the plumber, and from 5 to 6, I'm going to be whomever else, and so on? Or do you guys just, whenever it feels right? Or do you even get a chance to walk around without costumes on and just enjoy the show?
Well, here's the thing. A lot of us, we do have multiple costumes that we all bring. And sometimes we'll do either one costume all day, or if you have multiple costumes, they'll have certain time slots to when they'll actually do it. And like, let's say Jeff or who else would probably post on their Facebook what time they're going to do this and that. And like I said, in my case, I only had brought 2 costumes, 3 if you count the mystery costume I had for the Monsters Ball,
which was amazing. It took me a minute to realize it, but especially when you put the 2 pictures together of Wes Craven and you, it was like,
He on Instagram, he liked the picture actually, which I found amazing. If you go on my Facebook, he has an Instagram, The Real Wes Craven, and he liked it. And how many achievement points did you get for this? If you made an impression like that.
Right. Well, because he's never seen it before, nor has anybody else. And for those of you at home that don't know what we're talking about, Nick here had a Freddy costume that was Wes Craven's cameo as the janitor in
the janitor in Scream.
Yeah, it was in Scream. That's right. Okay, right.
So did you use the same plunger from Zeke the plumber?
No, he had a mop. You know what? I really wanted to get a mop and enter the Monsters Ball, sweeping the dance floor, or at least the carpet, so someone got the hint. But next time down the road, when I do Fred the Janitor, I'll be sure to definitely find a mop and at least make some kind of significance of who that character is, because the people who knew who it was, they died laughing. They loved the character.
Yeah.
I don't think I ran into you on Saturday night. That makes me sad.
You probably didn't notice him. You just thought he was the janitor. He's over there. You kept when you're eating the popcorn, every time you drop a piece, he came up and swept it up. And you didn't even notice him.
I did not drop any popcorn.
No, but getting back with the costumes. Now, normally what they'll do is that they'll do the costume one time, and it depends on how much they wear it, because, let's say, for example, in Chef's case, when he wears the Jason suits, he'll probably have to wear it one time because the sweat buildup on it is crazy. And the same thing going for Zeke. I'm basically covered up with long sleeves, gloves, a latex mask that's literally tripping sweat down the neck hole and onto my sweater underneath, which was quite stinky by the end of Saturday, and I actually dared putting it back on after I got out of costume. And like I said, that's one of the bigger things with costumes is that, like I said, as long as you're doing your job, they won't have any issue with taking small breaks. But other than that, it's no sweat at all. I mean, like I said, considering that you have characters like people like Jeff who dresses like Jason, or Big Larry who debuted his new Lycan costume, which was phenomenal. When he entered out of the dressing room, it was phenomenal.
It was. Actually, I was right there. And then I went and found a little Red Riding Hood for him.
Yeah.
Hey, that was my idea.
It was. Dude, it was a no-brainer, right? And it was pretty awesome. Harry, how does it you guys just don't call him Harry Larry?
It never came. I never thought of it that way before. It was just always Big Larry.
Harry Larry is I think from now on is perfectly fitting.
You might be starting something there.
Oh yeah, I like to start things.
Everybody
my thing.
Remember that Red Riding Hood is only 15.
Yes.
Hands off.
Yes, hands off. Jeez.
Chris Hansen will come get you.
So, what else, guys? Mike. After it was all said and done, I was absolutely thrilled. I mean, it could not have happened. It could not have turned out any better than what it did. I was completely satisfied. All my goals were hit, plus my expectations were completely blown out of the water. But there were still things I regret not doing and getting. What's a couple of yours, Mike?
I regret that we didn't end up getting to talk to Don Coscarelli.
Me too. I should have been.
It was something that we were working on with him, but we just couldn't make it align, which is sad. But it is what it is. I also really wanted to talk to Dave Brocky, who was there. Odorous Ungers from Guar.
Yes,
I was briefly part of a toy company that was involved with making Guar action figures that never appeared, and I really wanted to hear what he had to say about that. But that was more me personally, and possibly a little bit me being vindictive. But anyway.
I wanted to hear my wife ask Odorous Ungers to replace a car that she had stolen and stripped in Chicago when she went to see him.
I kind of wish we could have gotten your wife to come sit down with us for a few minutes.
Well, she did. When she sat next to me when we did the Leslie Easterbrook. You can hear her laugh. No.
I'd like to hear what she has to say at some point.
Yeah, I get to hear it all the time, so I guess I'm not as interested. But you're right. We should. She get all nervous though. She doesn't like hearing her voice. She thinks people care. Anyways,
I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
As far as getting the celebrities to come and talk to you, how did you guys approach that?
I put a bunch of shiny.
Easterbrook turned it all the way around for us.
I put a bunch of shiny microphones on a table. And then I walked around and was me. Honestly, that is the only secret, man. I put the table together. Anytime we sat there and hit the record button and actually got serious and interviewed somebody, regardless of who they were, Corey, it attracted people. People would stop and would check it out, and especially when famous people would walk by, it was crazy. Because some of them would walk by there to go to their rooms, and they noticed the table, and that is the secret. Now, sure, the only person I went to their table and asked them for an interview was Don Coscarelli, and we didn't get his interview.
Well, no, you went and asked Keith David because I made you.
Yes, that's right. It's funny. You guys stood behind me. You're like, "Go, do it." I'm like, "Oh, shucks, Mr. David."
Response we got.
No, he came and talked. Well,
Yeah.
he said he'd come do it.
Yeah, and he sat down. He talked to us.
And then Lewis kept talking, and he told him to stop talking because he was going to talk himself out of it.
Yep. And so we got that Sunday. That's going to go on this episode also.
But he did finally come by and talk to us on Sunday. Yeah. But he was real nice. He had to have walked by a dozen times, and every time he walked by, we had people at the table we were talking to.
Yep, and also every time he was out
me,
smoking,
Dave, and Louis, we always had a fourth person sitting there.
And when we were, he was a smoker, and even though I don't smoke, I knew that is. I mean, honestly, that is a great place to network, man. And when he'd be out there, I always kept it short, quick, and would just say, hey, are you having fun? Are you having a good time? Blah, blah, blah. And then would leave him alone. I wouldn't bug him.
Right.
So, he was familiar. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm kind of a memorable looking person. And
the mohawk helps.
The mohawk helps. And the silly hat with the card in it. And just, I don't know. Wicked Beard asked me, he's like, are you always this animated? I'm like, no, I'm usually more animated. I'm worn out.
and that's absolutely true too.
Because 3 hours a night sleeping is not enough, and Dave talks in his sleep.
Yeah, I'm so glad I wasn't sharing the room with you guys. I mean, no offense, but for starters, I may be a short guy, but I wasn't sleeping on that little bench. Nor was I going to sleep in a bed with either of you fuckers. But
no.
But I couldn't have done that. So I'm not a huge fan of sleeping in hotel rooms with people.
My regrets are I regret not handing my little handheld recorder and making you guys, one of you two, at least Dave especially, go out and get an interview, whether it be from a random person out on the smoking lot or something. Just to go out there and just do it, right? Just to do it.
I've totally done that.
I don't know why we always think about these things later. I also regret, and I wanted to get a stand-up vinyl banner. Could you imagine us at the table with a stand-up vinyl banner explaining who we were and everything? It would have made us even more noticeable.
That's next year.
The next thing would have been to have somebody sit there and run the camera and videotaped us as we were also doing the audio.
And that might be a thing we explore in the future too, especially if I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it yet, Louis. But one of our brothers in podcasting that we ran into at the show was the guys from Idle Chatter, and they have opened up their own YouTube channel now to go with their podcast. But they did several interviews from the show that they've put up on YouTube. Apparently, one with you too, but I don't think that one's up yet.
Yeah, I remember doing it with them, but I don't remember.
But
seeing it.
they've put out their first episode about the show so far too, and theirs was also a lot of fun. But I would love to have some YouTube clips that we can put up.
Yeah, me too. I did take one, and I don't remember which one it was. I haven't actually looked at that memory card yet. But I recorded basically 8 gigs of video, so and it's pointed at our table, so at least we'll have that. What else, guys? What do you regret? Do you regret anything? Is there anything you missed, Nick, that you wanted to do that you didn't get to do?
You know what? Before I go to an event, I always have a list of people that I do want to meet. Like, for example, I had a huge list compiled of either Kane Hodder or Tony Todd. The list will go on.
Kane's a nice guy.
Yeah, I really wanted to meet him. It's a shame that he called out for Days of the Dead, but if he's got work, the more power to him. I'm glad he's got some work involved as opposed to sitting at a table for hours on end and signing autographs. But you know what? There isn't that many regrets. I mean, like I said, the big responsibility of being in Monsters Among You is basically getting in costume and putting a show on for the fans. And then, like I said, the big day is mostly Saturday. You have to be in costume. But, of course, you could probably slip by, just get going incognito, just for a few autographs here and there, taking little breaks. Other than that, that's really about it. But I have to say, there was one celebrity or one person in particular I really wanted to meet, and it was, like I said, I really enjoyed it, and that was Adam Green, who does shows like Holliston or Frozen and the Hatch movies.
Yeah, that's another one I wanted to talk to.
And he would have too.
Because if you when you approach his line and you start talking to him, it's not like you're talking to a celebrity by any means. It's not saying that they're all in celebrity status, but when you're talking to Adam, it's literally like you're talking to the next person, first or last in line. He'll go on. He's a great conversation holder. He'll talk about this or that in his movies. Not to mention, and like I said, it's not mainly the reason to go in his line, but he also signs for free. He doesn't believe in charging for autographs. He and the producer of the movies, Will Barrett, they all signed for free. And even David Brockie, who played Odorous, he also signs for free as well. So, and like I said, that's not the reason to go in his line, just get an autograph for free. But like I said, you're talking to a fanboy himself. He'll hold up a great conversation, and he's just so humble and so nice to his fans.
That's actually the reason. I think the reason we ended up not talking to him on the show, because I started to ask him several times, and then I felt so bad by the time I got up there that I was about to ask him to come and talk to us at some point, because he was always looking. He always looked like he was in the middle of something, and but I knew well enough to know that he would have absolutely, tried to do whatever we asked him to.
Right.
And it just didn't seem fair. Yeah, and I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I got the opportunity to meet him too, and he was a great guy. And
yeah. Did he do an interview? Did he do an interview with you?
No, I didn't ask him. There were some other people that were behind me, and
it's tough to ask him, isn't it? Even though he'd probably do it.
That's one of those things, and that's stage 2. For traumatic cinematic, we will have this. We're going to have the ability to do a high quality professional interview while we wait, like as we're waiting in line, as we go up there, like with a stick mic. I mean, even if you can get them for 60 seconds, right? And get them to do the bumper. I'm going to collect bumpers now. I'm just going to start. I'm going to go to the mall. I'm going to go to the mall and just get like little kids, like say, I'm listening to Traumatic Cinematic. Like, I'm just a Cinematic. I got thousands of them.
I did that last year. I got I think 2 or 3 of the guests from last year to do one for our Wiseman TV, and they were more than happy to do it. So I mean, it was only like 5 seconds of their time, so it was no big deal.
Right.
So, but yeah, with Adam, it was even with going up to anybody in that case, trying to get interviews like that just at their table, you feel it's kind of weird, because you feel like you're taking up their time when they could be signing autographs or whatever, and making money. So it's kind of a weird feeling.
Yep, it is, and you feel guilty, but I think we got to get rid of that, because that's why they're there, right? They're there to sell autographs and sell pictures, but they're also there to help promote. Like, and to be honest with you, especially if I buy an autograph, like I don't want a picture, I want you to talk to me for 2 minutes, like, right? I mean,
but by the same token, I don't know if you remember, Louis, we went to Gen Con last year, and there was one of the celebrities that we tried to get to do us a bumper, and he said he couldn't do it.
Right. Who was that?
I'll say it if you want.
Yeah.
It was Will Wheaton.
Oh, that's right. But it's because he's in contract and stuff.
Yeah, and he was very nice about it, but he just said he couldn't do it.
That's right.
And so I'm sure there will be times that we run into that, but
doesn't mean you got to quit asking, and that's a fear I think we all have.
It's just something we have to be aware of, though.
But we all have to we get past that. The more once Leslie verbally hugged us with just love and validation, it just opened up. Literally, it turned the whole event around for us. Not that it was going bad, but
no, it was going great. But
we
hadn't talked to any of the celebrities really yet.
And then Dave danced. Dave was so happy and so ecstatic that he went out on the dance floor at the Monsters Ball and showed us his stuff, and it was amazing, guys. Amazing. I have some pictures of it. I'll have to put one into this post.
Still, one of the funniest things to me was Sunday morning when Tyler Main comes over to us and starts setting his stuff down. And we're like, oh, we would love to speak to you for a few minutes. He said, well, yeah, Leslie Easterbrook said I had to.
Yeah, he didn't have a choice. And she even, I've emailed with Leslie, and she said that she's like, that he didn't have a choice. She drug him over to the doorway of his safe room, right, which is the room he was sitting in, and pointed at the table. She's like, you will go over and talk to them, nice gentlemen.
She kind of became my hero this past weekend.
Yeah, mine too. And whatever she makes from now on, and as soon as Laverna Shirley, we're going to demand Laverna Shirley to be put out in box set, right?
Well, nice. I actually was looking at that this week. Season 6 is apparently out, which was the first of her seasons, but 7 and 8 aren't. So
okay, well, all right, cool. Well, that's something to look forward to.
Because she said none of her stuff's available. So part of me actually thought about buying a copy and see if I could find a way to send it to her.
Maybe she'd send it back with her name scribbled on it.
I just meant just send it to her so she could have it. Because she said she didn't have any of that stuff.
She's married, Mike. You got to be careful.
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm just because I think she deserves it.
Okay. Well, you know what, guys? I think we about wrapped it up. I guess all in all, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you guys will disagree with me or not, but I think Days of the Dead 2013 in Indianapolis was pretty freaking awesome.
It is.
I already can't wait for 2014.
And we are looking into possibly doing Chicago. We'll see. It's still early to tell. It's not out of the cards. So, all right. Any last words? Hey, Corey, where can we find your YouTube channel? I know you got some shorts and stuff up on there.
Yeah, it's youtube.com/3wisementv.
Okay, and Nick.
And that's WIZEMEN, right?
That's correct.
And Corey, or Nick, how about you?
Actually, before I start plugging myself, I would like to make a few shout-outs if that's all right with you guys.
Please do.
All right. Okay. And like I said, you guys met for the first time at Days of the Dead, am I correct?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, there are some people that I actually met for the first time I've been speaking to for a few years through Facebook, and this was actually the first time I met some of them as well. So, well, actually, like I said, there's a few other shout-outs. Big shout-out going out to my older brother, so to speak, Adam King. He does the cosplaying for Ashley Williams, and it was great seeing him again during the course of the weekend. My roommates, Tony Wolf, Chris Pisano, and many others, they bunked the room with me during that course of the time for the weekend, so it saved me a lot of money. And plus, it was nice to bunk with people during the course of that weekend. Paige Joy and Bradley McKee, her brother, those are the people that I met a few years ago back on Facebook. We were originally supposed to meet back in the Chicago show, but I couldn't be able to afford the funds to go to that show. But this was my first time meeting them, so that was nice. Who else? Anthony Brownlee. Anthony is an avid convention goer, and he's also my token convention victim to Seek the Plumber or Lester Jenkins. Actually, I got him 5 times scaring him, surprisingly. The one time with the rooms flickering off and on, it was unintentional. I don't know if you guys saw that, but in the actual celebrities hall, the lights were flickering on and off. I was roaming around in there, and then when the lights flickered back on, he was standing right in front of me, and he basically shat himself when he actually saw me. So that's also
I ruined his drawers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One more final shout out going out to my dear friend Taylor Bursky. Now Taylor, she is also with Heroes Within Us. It's been a long journey from her since Chicago. She wanted to meet her longtime hero Lisa Wilcox, who plays Alice in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. She canceled out for Chicago, and for the longest time, she's been hoping to see Lisa again. Lisa arrived for Indianapolis, and with Taylor, it was circle full complete. And I just want to say, Taylor, I love you to death, and I'm really happy this moment came for you. And the same goes for everyone else that I just mentioned. And like I said, you guys are amazing. I couldn't have been doing the conventions without you guys, so those are my shout-outs.
And I get a shout out. I want to say thank you to Satan. If I hadn't sold my soul to you 2 years ago, none of this would have been possible.
Oh, you know what? Real quickly, I'm gonna plug my shows real quickly, or my websites. You can also find me at with my Facebook page, facebook.com/Tyson and Hyde Asylum. That is my cosplay page. Or you can find me on my personal Facebook page, facebook.com/N1KTSON. So look me up if you guys get a chance, or friend me, whatever you like. That's
you can also find me on Twitter at Wiseman Films. That's Wise with the Z.
Awesome. Hey, and Mike, what your website is?
TraumaticCinematic.com.
Yeah, it is. It is TraumaticCinematic.com. You know what? When you say that, you know what that makes me think of?
No.
To the Dramatic Cinematic Show.
Yeah, see, that's how it works.
I'm Leslie Easterbrook, and you're listening to the Dramatic Cinematic Show.
Or there's also...
This is Danny Trejo, and right now you're listening to Traumatic Cinematic. And if you don't keep listening, I'll kill you.
Then I'll wash my hands.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming on, and, yeah.
I'm
on the internet.